ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknex.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
Do it now. Does it have that little do it now thing like the other one does? How sweet would that be? Brandon!
Hey, Bitcoin just chilling. It's perfect.
I know.
Perfect.
It's perfect. It's so perfect. So I came across something else pretty good. I figured something else out.
What?
That, it would be something we would talk about behind the wall.
That checks out.
As far as the options go, I found a little thing that you can do on Friday. So we'll just talk about it behind the wall. But basically, it's something that's intuitive, but you wouldn't really. Maybe it's not intuitive. It's a thing you can do on Friday to kind of maximize your possible reallocation following week.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Best believe. All right. What's going on? Any kind of office-y behind what kind of stuff that we need to do?
Yes. Well, here, because let's do this. The GMRT pool. Remember, I told everybody. Obviously, the rewards have stopped.
Yeah.
So go ahead and go unstake if you haven't already. I'm sorry if this is repetitive for those of you guys, but let's go unstake. Then in 30 days, I thought about just lowering that cooldown to 0 days, but we told them 30 days. But they also went and they changed it, so now we don't get rewards, even though they said anyway. But it's whatever.
Can you adjust the cooldown? Now wait a minute. They were going to originally run those pools for how long?
I thought a year.
The 150 ones?
No. But I thought they were going to give us. We were going to readjust Q2. They didn't say they were going to go 0.
Yeah, you know what I would do on the cooldown? 0.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. So I could do 0, and everybody could just pull their GMR tokens here in about an hour and 10 minutes. So
you know what? Let's have the community decide. What say you, community?
Okay.
We're gonna be a baby DAO right now. We're spinning up a DAO just for this one vote, and then we're gonna unwind it. No market DAO.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of frustrating. That team, I mean, I
got some zeros. I'm getting some zeros. You know what? I think across the board, I think we have consensus. I think we actually hit a 100% vote.
It's funny because we did put a function in the contract that will allow me to change the cooldown based on. I mean, we told anyway, yeah, outside factors, I guess. So
yeah, honestly, I mean, no offense to them, but if they're gonna just completely switch up everything and hit dead stop, then there's no reason that people should be held accountable for a 30-day cooldown. Cooldown to what? Sorry, bro. I think the world has spoken. I don't want to wait. No, you have to wait 26 more days, but everybody else is out.
What if I did it for everybody but Charlene?
Yeah, Charlene, would you be willing to sacrifice yourself like the good Lord Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, I was frustrated with them, and I'll always do what I say. So they kind of changed their terms.
You can blame it on me, bro. You can blame me, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. I think I'm gonna probably go ahead and.
That's it. This is a pretty clear vote. This is pretty clear.
I think the vote looks solid. Okay, vote's over. Vote's over.
Done.
Come
it's
on.
done. I'll tell you what up.
Whatever, we'll do it. Now,
it's
that
over.
way you can claim, withdraw, and everything, and
That's
you
a
can
wrap.
go stake your tokens somewhere where there is a pool.
Hey, Brandon,
sell them.
do you know? Did you get all the trades that we closed out this morning? Did you get those locked in?
Did you text them to me? Because I didn't see them in the chats either. That you opened some. I see some on the current
I didn't
positions.
open any new ones. I closed out. I closed out the one.
It shows current positions May 23rd.
Yeah, I rolled. That's
the 58.
Next week.
Yeah, you didn't show that you opened those.
No, that's next week. I
know. When did you open those though?
No. I bought to close one this morning. The 50.
The 58s, I know, but then there's 3 new trades of 50.
But I rolled those in. I actually got those yesterday. I sold. I sold to open those yesterday.
Well, I didn't see that. I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I see them up now. I'll go put those in. But I saw the close.
So what I did is I took the one that I got out of and I split it into 3 equal parts.
Yeah, I see that. That's good. Good.
I just went.
I like that trade. Yeah. And it looks like you still have. Oh, okay. I see. You still have the 5850s for today.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going to talk about why I'm still in those. I could have gotten out of those at 7 cents, but why would I get out of those at 7 cents when there's
you can write it to 0?
There's a smarter move.
When you can write it to 0? No.
Well, you can write it to near 0, but
it'll only go 2 cents. 2 cents is the lowest, pretty much.
It gives you some optionality because, well, and again, we'll talk about it later, but it gives you some optionality throughout the day. It basically gives you a day to time your next entry price at the best possible point.
What is this? Has behind the wall become restricted? No, you just log into the dashboard and you can watch everything behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easy peasy.
I think my spider guy's here.
You have a spider guy?
Well, Kitty walked in with a spider in his mouth eating it, and I was like, So it's the groundhog or a mole, and it was that one spider. Although, to be fair, Kitty brought it from outside to inside. But I'm like, if you see one, there's 100 you can't see.
Yes.
Isn't that how it works?
James, I don't know what, let's see, issues with MetaMask extensions to get my money out. That's pretty vague. Money out of where? Out of Coinbase or out of, anyway, pretty vague. Maybe message me. Spider is good protein. Yeah, drink it up.
Yeah.
Cats eat spiders. All right, do we want to take a minute and go over the Jupiter stuff?
Yes, Jupiter stuff. And I'm going to go talk to Spider Guy.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. There's kind of a ton of stuff. And so we got to talk about the delegation and the other stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me share my screen here. Wha-bam. Okay, so Jupiter, obviously, they had their big Jupe rally call yesterday. If you missed it, that's okay because I'm going to summarize it for you. So Jupiter, thus far, the big thing that I think that they're working on, that I think is one of the best things they're working on, is the JupeNet update. This JupeNet thing that Jupiter's doing, I think they're going to become the kind of the one-stop. That's what their goal is. They're going to become the one-stop shop for everything. I already on Solana, I use Jupiter for literally everything that I do, for swaps, trades, just for looking at tokens. The Jupiter portfolio is really good. It shows anything that's staked anywhere, like even if it's staked over at like DeFi Tuna, Huma Finance, if it's staked either on as Sol staking, it finds it and it shows it in your Jupe portfolio. A couple people asked me where we stake our Jupe or our Solana tokens or anything like that, and there's a couple different places to do that. But the Jupiter portfolio, typically like on MetaMask, if you stake something in a contract and you can't remember where you staked it, it's like, oh shoot, where did I stake that? But the Jupiter portfolio goes and finds all contracts that your wallet has claim to, including airdrops, and it kind of finds that. It's kind of cool. So what they're working on is jupe.net or JupeNet. They've already found the best talents, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna launch an interchain blockchain with all these partners, with Sui, Ethereum, it looks like Ton, whatever that is, obviously Solana and everything's going to be kind of wrapped into one bundle. So you won't know I guess, the difference when you're trading things. They're going to be doing this decentralized type Dove native passkey. So it's going to be one login for all networks of all your keys, which I think is pretty cool. And they've already started working on this. So they just gave like a little update on the call. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see what they come out with. And I think it is going to be an omni-chain type of ledger. And they're pretty excited about it as well. But the main thing that they talked about that I think pertains to us is there was 2 votes that they talked about coming up, or 2 proposals that they're looking towards. The first one is the Huma finance. We talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show. We were talking about this. I have some USDC over there. It's getting 10.5%, and then it's also earning feathers. So if you go borrow against your Ethereum at 0.5%, you could send it over to Huma Finance and get 10.5% and earn feathers that will accumulate towards points towards this airdrop. But we already talked about that ad nauseum, so I'm not going to talk about that again. But Huma Finance is the PayFi network. They are basically doing advanced loans they're like an intermediary for people that are trying to get payments from vendors and stuff, but the vendor doesn't have the money yet. So they're basically a bridge type loan. So they do those bridge type loans for businesses. That's a Web 2 play. And they have a lot of value. I'll talk about that in a second, about the money that they're doing. So the proposal is they want to unite Jupiter and Huma, want to do a little swap, a treasury swap of $250K at a $75 million valuation. And in return, Jupe stakers get a partake in a 1% of the supply, an exclusive pre-sale pool at $75 million valuation. Now, this is a 50% last round.
Real quick. A, that's bullshit. That's not a real gift. B, 250K swap is bullshit. That's not a real swap. On a 75 million valuation, this is dust on top of dust. So far, excited about the first bit, not excited about this. All right, carry on.
I couldn't agree more. I'm frustrated, and I voiced my frustration over there because what used to happen with these little mergers is we would get free tokens. Now they're trying to pass this off and gaslight us, saying, well, now you get to buy tokens. But anybody can buy tokens. Not only do you get to buy, and it might be a good deal. We'll see we'll see the tokenomics and see how it breaks out when we get it out. But I would rather get free tokens. Okay, I'm a Jupe staker. I should get some free crap. I don't care if it's a 50% discount.
Here's how you do it.
50% arbitrary discount is arbitrary.
What we should be asking them, Brandon, is, okay, cool. Well, then how much of our Jupe should we unstake and sell for this IPO or this ICO?
It's very frustrating. 3-month lockup as well, right? So you don't even get the tokens to sell. You have a 3-month lockup. So this is like, supposedly they're treating this like you're an early investor in Huma Finance, right? So they're trying to gaslight you into selling this, and this is the full proposal if you guys all feel like reading it. Huma is doing some pretty good numbers. They've done $4 billion in transaction volume, which isn't bad. They have $100 million of liquidity staked, $9 million annualized revenues. That's not great, actually, on $4 billion. I think they can pump those numbers up, if I'm being honest. They have 48,000 depositors. They just did their V2 pool. They opened it up last week. It filled in 9 hours, $10 million, which is pretty decent. So the total supply is going to be 10 million. Like I said, Jupiter stakers get an allocation at $75 million valuation, which is arbitrary, completely arbitrary. Your allocation depends on how much you have staked. So if you have 10 coins staked, you get 10 allotments and so on and so forth. You have the 3-month lockup. Now, I know that they get an LFG fee. Jupiter gets an LFG fee. So I don't know if they're going to give that LFG fee away for free, which I am banking on. If they don't give that LFG fee away for free, I'm going to be kind of pissed. Because typically, like I said in the past, we got Zeus for free, Cloud for free. We got, there was a Meow Kitty one we got for free. We got DeBridge for free. And it wasn't a lot, but it was free. It wasn't like they're like, oh, you need to go buy this. You know, so I'm kind of miffed on this one. It's kind of strange. I don't know. That's just my initial reactions and my initial thoughts. So I don't know what y'all think about this, but that's kind of where I sit. Now, these tokens, Huma Finance is really good. Let me see if I can access this Dune dashboard here because I kind of want to see what they have cooking over there. I guess it shows all their metrics and stuff, which is kind of cool. Total transaction volume 4.3 billion, not bad. They're growing on the depositors, which that makes sense. Average APY, I don't know what that is. Okay, so they have $40 million in liquid asset. That's pretty crazy. I mean, they are a pretty good product. I would be super excited if they weren't trying to gaslight us into buying tokens. I don't love that. I still don't love that. Anyway, so we'll decide when the proposal comes out. We'll read the whole proposal. I think the vote's supposed to be this. I thought it was supposed to be like this weekend, which I haven't heard boo about it. So I thought it was supposed to be today. Anyway, haven't heard boo about it. So we'll vote on it when we get to it. The next proposal that came out, you guys probably heard about, was they're thinking of switching the voting system, which at first I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. I like to go vote, but at the same time, I think I have like 14 wallets that I vote with. And it is kind of cumbersome. So this would let it so you could delegate your voting power to one of these 301 representatives, and that one representative could go vote for you. And it's just like if you voted yourself. So that way you wouldn't have to worry about votes ever again. You just delegate to somebody. So you would delegate to me, for example.
It's delegated proof of stake, basically.
Yeah. So I would go vote for you guys every vote. And it would be super simple. And I talked to the team on how they're going to decide the 301 representatives, and I would become a representative easy. So basically we would be able to vote, and it's kind of cool. I guess at the end of the day, it would just simplify your lives because you guys would never have to vote again, which I think is kind of nice. So yeah, it's delegated proof of vote. So anyway, that's the shimmy on the whole Jupiter stuff. The Huma Finance thing, great project. Pissed about the gaslighting, and pissed. They're going to continue to gaslight. I found out that's kind of what Jupiter does. They gaslight you into thinking that they're giving you a good deal, and they're kind of not. So it's kind of frustrating. Anyway, they used to give good deals, but still at the same time, Jupiter is still the best product on Solana. Anyway, that's that. You're muted still.
All those updates, other than the very first one, were kind of nonsense.
Yes, the first one is good.
Yeah, we're working on this cool project. And by the way, here's a bunch of bullshit that does no one any good and looks like it's good, but actually it's not. It's just a scam to push more people to buy this worthless goddamn token that you wouldn't have purchased anyway, because you would never have known about it if it wasn't for us pushing it on all you guys that are staking. F you.
So the representatives get nothing. So if you want to become a representative, you don't get anything, because they thought that was unfair to take away from the actual people delegating to the representative. They said there's no reason for that. So you get nothing in addition to. Anyway.
What if you miss the vote? What do you mean?
So he's saying, this is my initial concern too. What if you delegate to one of the 301 representatives and they miss a vote, right? I'm like, well, that's why you delegate to somebody who won't miss a vote. I won't miss a vote. So that's like easy peasy. Yeah, that's what my concern was. That's why I'm like, I'm going to become a representative because I know I won't miss a vote ever.
But there's nothing in it for you. There's nothing in it for you to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. 2 seconds.
They did want the representatives to get paid, but there's no reason to have them get paid. Because if they got paid, it would take away from the people delegating. Then it would cause contention. No, it wouldn't be more work. All I do is vote once versus I have like 14 wallets that I vote for anyway. Like I have my, anyway, I won't even say, but I help people vote, right? So I help some people vote. It would actually be simpler for me because instead of the 14 votes that I have to do every month, that I would just have to do one, and it would represent everybody here, all of my votes, all of Nick's votes, all my people that I work with votes, like everybody's votes. It'd be super simple. So it'd actually be less work. I would just go click vote. Done. One time instead of 14 times. So it actually would be a little bit easier, but that's a good question. Yeah, I think there's going to be some more discussion on this too, but I don't think that I personally don't think the representatives should be paid because I don't want it to pull out. Like, I would rather just vote for myself then. Like, if I know that somebody's going to get even a small chunk of my ASR, I'd rather vote for myself, so it's kind of crappy in my opinion. Whew. Anyway, so that's that on that. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't like the gaslighting. Huma Finance. Is anybody here Did anybody here put USDC in Huma Finance? I'm just curious to see if anybody did besides myself. I don't know that it's good or bad or worse or anything else. I don't know that it's going to benefit you or not benefit you, but I put it in there. And then I actually, so what they do is they give you like a staking, like when you lock up your USDC, they give you it's I don't know what the name. Oh, I have it right here. They give you a PST token that's getting 10%, right? And it's liquid, so it builds within the token. And then you can take that PST token and then you can go lock it over at RateX, and then you get 27% on top of the 10%. Anyway, it's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing, guys. Don't worry about it. It's too much to even talk about, but I don't know. I think that I like Huma Finance. I just, yeah, this proposal is kind of frustrating to me because we used to just get everything for free. And so it's like, now it's like 2 steps backward, in my opinion, not no steps forward. So the other thing that I did see yesterday, and I don't know, Nick, if you saw this or not, I'm sure you talked about it anyway, but Coinbase got hacked. I was explaining this to my wife and a little bit about this. They got hacked, but they didn't get hacked. They got some information stolen, and it affected 1% of users. And then the people over there at Coinbase, they said that I guess the people that took the information, they tried to get a $20 million payoff so they wouldn't release the information or let everybody in the world know that they were hacked or whatever. Anyway, so they said they're going to reimburse impacted users. No Prime accounts were affected. It was just other accounts. Less than 1%, I guess. No passwords, private keys, or funds were exposed. But here's what was exposed. The funny thing is, on the bottom of this, and you know, if Nick did hash this, I'm going to just rehash one little thing. This guy's like, got to hand it to these criminals. They were at least able to get a hold of Coinbase customer support in the first place. I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, so I thought it was pretty funny. So the other thing, Hayden Adams came out. So Hayden, if you don't know him, he is the creator of Uniswap. He does all the Uniswap stuff. So he said yesterday, and this is why the only reason I'm going to rehash it, because I want you guys to be aware of this situation. Today is a good day to remember that regulation aimed at protecting people often harms them. So the fact that Coinbase forces people to KYC beyond recognition is actually more hurtful if they get this type of data breach. And don't point at Coinbase for getting this type of data breach only, because MasterCard's had it happen to them. Visa's had it happen to them. We've had the credit bureaus. They've gotten their information stolen. You've been a part of a data breach. You know, you've all gotten those emails. So my wife, when I was discussing this with her, she's like, well, does that mean we should get out of crypto type of thing? I'm like, no, this happens everywhere. But forcing companies to collect insane amounts of information on the users is a massive security liability for good actors and does little to stop bad actors to buy accounts. This is the same thing as gun laws, right? Who's it hurt? Like, who are gun laws hurting? It's not hurting the people who are actually buying guns to go hunting for their, and this is a political issue, maybe, I don't know. But it doesn't hurt the people who are legitimately trying to get, the bad guys will get the guns no matter what. I don't care what you say, they'll get them no matter what. It's the same thing with this. The good people are going to give up all the information, the bad people are going to get it. And now they have all these people's personal, they have their addresses, they have their bank account numbers, they have their Coinbase trade history, which means they have who makes the most network, who has the most value at Coinbase. They can now go target those people. And with deep fake, with AI and stuff, they can do anything they want to basically get the money out of them and do whatever they want. So this is an issue. So KYC is not the way.
Yeah, I dropped some F-bombs yesterday.
Well, I'm pissed about this because you saw all the kidnappings happening now around this kind of stuff because they find out their information. Anyway.
I mean,
that pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way I look at it is, you know, when you contract out an Indian call center.
Oh boy, yeah.
To do your support. Chase does this too, by the way. Chase uses Indian call centers. So when you have a fraud alert on your account, a guy named Dipash or Patel calls you. And what do you think? You think it's a scam. And what's crazy is Brandon, do you remember one time I was dealing? It was when Coinbase locked all my stuff up for like a week, and I was trying to get it unlocked. We were buying a car, and I called the Coinbase number. They transferred me, so I know this was an inside job. They transferred me to another person at Coinbase, who then asked for me to do a screen share. He goes, do a screen share and log into your account. And I said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, good. And you called the Coinbase number and you were still aware. That's an important, I think that's the most important story you guys could hear today. Like, be careful.
Dude,
don't trust anyone.
It is what it is. These people get paid less than minimum wage in a fourth world country to help you manage hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions or tens of millions of dollars. And their whole culture is based on fucking ripping people off. So what do you think they're going to do? What would any human do? You make $6,000 a year and someone says, hey, buddy, if you help me hack this guy, I'll give you $1 million. Of fucking course you're going to pull a scam.
Yep.
I mean, obviously. So it's just kind of, there is a clear incentives misalignment between hiring cheap labor to handle financial transactions. It's so fucking stupid. And I wouldn't be surprised if at the tail end of all this, there's some litigation against all of these banks too, not just Coinbase, but like Chase, Wells Fargo, all of them, for outsourcing like their call center, especially around fraudulent transactions and like special account stuff. You shouldn't be telling someone in Bangladesh what your fucking account number is. You shouldn't. And then when you ask to be transferred to the United States, they're like, we don't have that. Oh, really? You don't have that. So no one at your company, JP Morgan Chase, works in the United States? Not one person? Fucking bullshit.
That's why I thought this was the funniest thing. You missed this, but he's like, this is the funniest thing that I was on this Coinbase post. He's like, he was just super impressed the criminals were able to get a hold of Coinbase customer support in the first place. So funny. Anyway, let's see. We'll get off that because I'm gonna get so frustrated if I keep talking about this.
This isn't just a Coinbase thing, though. We're not picking on Coinbase.
Right.
This is everybody. Coinbase, Chase, Visa, MasterCard, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, it's all of them. They outsource all of this stuff to places where the aggregate income it is designed to make you pull a scam. Designed.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's what I was telling my wife. I'm like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You guys got to be aware of it. It's everywhere, and you can't ignore it because it's just going to happen. So it is what it is. The last thing that I want to talk about, maybe before we go to behind the wall, I really want to get Nick's take on this because he probably know a little bit better about it. So maybe we'll wait to get that back. I'll talk about this first. This is this happened over at. This is why you don't do longs and shorts on, I guess, low liquid exchange. I think it was on an exchange called Femex. Anyway, what happened here was, this was a couple days ago. This was trading. This is Bitcoin. This is trading all along 102, 102, 102. Did anybody see the price of Bitcoin drop down to 98,884? Nope. Not one person saw it drop down to 98,884. So on this one exchange for 1 wick, it dropped down that far because they wanted to get those liquidations from one customer. So he woke up the next morning and was completely liquidated. Even though the price of Bitcoin never dropped down that far, which is actually kind of unfortunate for him. So that's why you kind of don't do long, shorts, or anything else on those types of exchanges. It's super risky because they can kind of pull whatever shenanigans they want. They dipped the price down to 98,000. They took him out.
Oh, wait. I missed it. Did someone get scam liquidated?
Yes, this was on Femex. The very well-run exchange Femex. Yeah. You know that one?
Bunch of fucking bullshit. Anyway, same shit that Deribit pulled. Same shit. I watched it, dude. I watched it.
Yeah. So this is something I want to talk to you about before we move on to the behind the wall. This is you've heard about the diamonds, right? The lab grown diamonds. I went and talked to like a jeweler guy.
Yeah, cultured diamonds.
They like they're better now than diamonds, but diamonds are a sham anyway. They're like a complete scam as it is. If you go look at the history of diamonds, anyway, we can go over that in detail. But yesterday, scientists at CERN's Large Hadron Collider
lab-grown gold
have successfully transferred lead into gold atoms. They changed the atomic structure.
You basically add an electron, is what it is. I mean, it's not an easy process, but you basically add an electron to the last valence.
Yeah.
And I think
so
you get gold.
They got it. They nailed it. So they've done gold. Peter Schiff has been tagged more times today than can be counted, obviously. So this is a little bit of a concern for gold, because if you look at the diamond value chart, I don't have it pulled up, but it goes like this and then goes like this. If that happens to gold, Bitcoin will be numero uno, obviously, which we all kind of know.
People don't talk about, I mean, I guess again, I was in the gold business for many, many years. Gold is not scarce. Diamonds are not scarce. It's a contrived, controlled market
They control the flow of gold and diamonds. So that
diamonds are no more scarce than grass in your front yard. They're just not. They're everywhere. Matter of fact, the end point to most organic matter is carbon, and most of that under pressure creates diamonds of a variety of shapes and sizes and colors. That's the end result of carbon, man. Carbon plus pressure equals diamonds.
That's right.
Anyway, that's a whole other. I could go into the whole scam about how that was all pushed. So how De Beers basically created these holidays, like just created them to sell diamonds, created demand out of fucking nowhere. Nothing.
They had good marketing strategy. I mean, they came across America and they said before diamonds, they weren't using anything in proposal rings, but they created that marketing stunt and everything, and it worked well.
Oh yeah, the whole engagement ring thing.
Yes,
that's also made up bullshit. Go back to the 1600s. There weren't no engagement rings. You found the girl that you wanted. You handed her dad some sheep. You hit her over the head with a club, and you guys were married.
Yep.
At the ripe old age of 23, you had 17 kids, 13 of which had fucking polio, and one had some kind of weird thing with dots on his head, and you pushed him into the river, and you had 3 good kids. That's it. Next family. That's. I don't think that's mostly true. That last bit, I just made that part up. There's not anything to back what I just said, except for the diamond part. That part's real. So at least there's no lab-grown Bitcoin. Wait, Bitcoin mining machines. Right, but there's a cap.
Limited supply. That's the difference, right? That's the difference. Anyway, so that's it. That's all. We can go behind the wall now.
We knew a guy. Okay, I'm gonna let me back that up.
What?
Let's just say we knew a guy that took cultured diamonds and they were growing them. And what they would do is they would the reason cultured diamonds are cultured is because they're perfect. So what he would do is, what someone might do is someone might, were they so inclined, put little bits of boron and other elements that are inconsistent with a perfect stone to slightly change the color, slightly change the clarity, and make it look not lab grown,
oh boy,
so to speak.
It's so funny. So what they did is they hyped up to perfection, then they pulled back off it, right? Just to make
they put little, some of them they would put some little Yehuda fractures. Sometimes they would put some little bits of boron and things like that, because they wanted them to look real. Because when you shine it with a diamond light, if it's perfect, you're like, whoa, no way. But if it's got some inconsistencies, you're like, this guy doesn't know what he's sitting on. Let's offer him 19,000 a carat. We'll take him. We'll take him all the way to Sunday. And that guy's like, well, I'm into it for $180 a carat, so that's fine. I'll just go make some more in my lab on wafers. They're grown on wafers. These wafer things are cool. Looks like an Eggo waffle, kind of. And then they're grown in these little, it's badass.
Huh.
And soon they'll just be 3D printing them.
Yeah. Just like they're going to be 3D printing gold here soon.
Dude, I saw them 3D print an egg. Have you seen that?
Wait, like a chicken egg?
a sunny side up like egg with
Oh,
the goo,
wow.
everything. Yeah,
With the goo.
everything.
Can you cook it more?
I guess you could make it over hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Over medium.
yeah. Okay,
Anyway.
should we get behind the wall and talk some options and some fun?
Yes.
Oh snap! Let's see. Okay, we'll go here. We're gonna go here, 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 and here, and here.
We're going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.
Like a pro, join us now.